In this video, we'll be talking about how to prepare for AILET exam. Now, what is AILET? Now, AILET is an examination which is conducted by NLU Delhi. The NLU Delhi CLAT के scores accept नहीं करता है, अपना separate exam कराता है by the name AILET. In this video, we'll try to figure out as to how to prepare for this exam in the next 6 months. So first of all, we have to understand this fact कि exam में जो आने that will 150 questions we get. These 150 questions will have to be solved in 2 hours, right? So 2 घंटे में we have to solve how many questions? 150 questions. Now these 150 questions will have a positive mark for every question that you attempt correctly, and then a negative of 0.5 for every question that you mark incorrectly. Now the distribution of these 150 marks is into 3 subjects, right? The first subject is English, so you will be getting around 50 marks of questions, around 50 marks of English. Secondly, you will get around 30 questions from GK. You get 30 questions from GK, right? And there will be 20 marks of logical reasoning. Kitne marks? Logical reasoning is of 70 marks. Now there is a caveat. बात ये है कि the syllabus specifically mentions कि logical reasoning में there can be questions from legal reasoning too. And for that, you don't have to read law. You just have to understand the right. So there can be questions from legal aptitude too. Included in these 70 questions that will be coming from the logical reasoning part of your question paper. Now let us move and understand as to how to specifically prepare for the English portion, since the English carries a lot of weightage. How do we prepare for English? देखो इंग्लिश में होता क्या है, मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस दैट आर कमिंग इन द एग्जामिनेशंस आर पैसेज बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस, राइट? पैसेज बेस्ड. Now to solve these passage based questions, your vocabulary, क्योंकि हो सकता है पैसेज सॉल्विंग टेक्निक सीख जाओ, but if your vocabulary is not rich, if you are not able to comprehend the passages per se, you won't be able to reach to the correct answer, right? So our vocabulary has to be very rich. So secondly, what we have to focus is on our vocabulary portion. Now there can be two methods to read vocabulary. One, what you can do is you can start reading Hindu, और उसमें आपको जो भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, any word that you are not able to decipher or understand, just Google it or write down the synonyms and antonyms of those words. Now this activity has to be done on a very large scale, right? So you have to be very consistent about it. You have to put in around 150 to 200 days to make sure that your vocabulary is up to the level of AILET, right? And you are able to understand the passages very comprehensively. Now there are certain questions coming from the grammar portion also, but grammar may they have been very narrow. Like they have asked questions from subject verb agreement and also tenses. So this will not take a lot of time. This is something which is technical, what you have to focus on vocabulary for now, because we still have around 6 months of time left for the examination. Once our vocabulary is good, we can actually start solving the passages directly, or ultimately the questions are going to come from passage only. Now how do you do it? देखो, first we have to understand the fact में कुछ टाइप के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं which are coming, right? So we get questions from inference, right? We get questions from main idea of the passage. We get questions from author's main purpose. Author's main purpose. Then we get questions from the tone of the passage. Tone of the passage, and from central idea. There is that all of these are type of questions. All of these are type of questions that are asked in your reading comprehension, right? In your reading comprehension. तो इसको कैसे करना है? देखो, for you to solve this, there is a very simple PDF that has been curated by our team. In case you need it, you can give us a call on the number given in the description. We'll provide you that PDF wherein we are discussing how to tackle these questions. Once we have read the technique, we are trying to make English very mathematical. Once we have read the technique, all we have to work upon is our vocabulary. जितना rich होगा vocabulary, उतना ही our possibilities of reaching to the correct answers increases, right? We are having a good command over vocabulary, we'll be able to understand and comprehend the passage very exhaustively. So we'll be answering those questions fast. So grammar, we have to just focus on the subject, verb, agreement thing and tenses. This is not going to take more than 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. From vocabulary is something which has to be done on everyday basis. इसमें कोई लिमिट नहीं है. मैं आपको द हिंदू रिकमेंड किया और दूसरा मैं आपको रिकमेंड करूंगा if you want a very affordable course price of around 1,000 rupees has been put for this. In case you want to learn vocabulary directly from me, which is going to help you in your law entrance examinations, or let's say if you are giving IB MAT examination or CUET, any aptitude based examination which a class 12 student gives, in case you want to prepare vocabulary from my own method, you can go in a course also. तो इंग्लिश को सॉल्व करने का बहुत बेसिक तरीका है. हमें पहले ये आइडिया कर लेना है how do we tackle these questions. Once we are done with it, we'll focus on our vocabulary, which is something which we have to start from day one, right? और उसके बाद we just have to practice more and more questions. Now how do we finalize it? एक बारी ये सब करने के बाद अपने नोट्स बनाओ और उनको रिवाइज करो. And I'm telling you this from a lot of strategy from a lot of toppers. Secondly, what you have to do is you have to solve the previous year questions, very important, of CLAT and AILET right from 2008 till 2025. ये करना ही करना है. This is panacea. This is something which is going to solve all your problems. Just focus on the previous year questions. Also, for practicing your passages, जब आंसर पे आए, whenever you are concluding to answer or whenever you are coming on to an answer, just question yourself, reason yourself if, like, why did you mark this question? In case you are able to reason it well, you are good to go. So RC is not going to be a huge problem. इसके बाद once we are done with step 1, step 2 and step 3, once we are done with all of these steps, what we have to do is now start practicing 5 to 6 reading comprehensions back to back. क्योंकि एग्जाम टाइम सिचुएशन बनानी है, एग्जाम में वी हैव टू सॉल्व एटलीस्ट 5-6 CRs बैक टू बैक reading comprehensions. So what we have to do is now we have to build upon this practice of solving continuous reading comprehensions, that too within a limited time frame. बहुत सिंपल स्ट्रैटेजी है, बहुत ज़्यादा आपको सोफिस्टिकेटेड कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, किधर भी कोचिंग भागने का जरूरत नहीं है. सिंपल सा तरीका है. रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पूछता है, ग्रामर में सब्जेक्ट वर्ब अग्रीमेंट और टेंसेस पूछता है, और साथ में वोकैबुलरी मजबूत करनी है. वोकैबुलरी हमें रोज मजबूत करनी होगी, नहीं तो यू कैन गो एंड अवेल दिस कोर्स और यू कैन डू इट फ्रॉम द हिंदू ऑल्सो. दोनों सही हो जाएगा. Simultaneously, grammar is something यहाँ पे जो which will take 5 to 6 hours, but a lot of questions are not coming from grammar per se, so we have to focus upon passages. To solve and to better equip ourselves to solve these passages, we have to be equally good at vocabulary and our reading speed has to be good. For that, पहले हम अपनी technique बनाएंगे through this PDF. Once we have made this technique, we'll follow this simple process of making our notes, then revising them. Secondly, solving those previous year questions from CLAT and AILET right from 2008 till 2025, leaving no questions. We don't have to leave any question because passage is something which you have to do. And while answering those passages, you have to reason yourself. Despite the teacher telling the answers, आप अपने आप से पूछिए, if you would have actually marked that question, किया होता तो with what reason? Once you are able to reason yourself, you are good to go for this examination. Once we have done this exercise, will not take more than 10, 15, 20 odd days. We have to just start solving 5 to 6 reading comprehensions back to back, and that too within a limited time frame. Now moving on in portion with GK. Now how to solve GK? देखो GK में 30 questions आते हैं. How many questions are there in GK? So they are asking 30 questions, right? And if you'll go through the past year papers, if you'll go through the past year questions, past year papers, find is if a student who is diligent enough is following the current affairs weekly or let's say periodically and revising them well, they are easily able to score somewhere around 25 out of those 30 marks, right? Not like CLAT. The questions are very much predictable. What you just have to do is follow any one source. पर ये आप किसी का भी ले सकते हैं. आपको मेरा जीके अच्छा लगता है, इफ यू वांट टू टेक माय करंट अफेयर कोर्स, यू कैन गो एंड अवेल इट. अगर आप किसी XYZ टीचर से पढ़ रहे हो, उनका अच्छा लगता है, आप उनसे भी पढ़ सकते हो. जस्ट वन सोर्स. डोंट ट्राई टू डाइवर्सिफाई योर सोर्सेस. वन सोर्स. Secondly, don't have to focus a lot on static GK, because if you go through the past year papers, you will find that there is no static GK, और अगर पूछा भी है तो हमें उतना आउटपुट नहीं मिलने वाला. सो वी वोंट फोकस अ लॉट ऑन स्टैटिक GK. डेली एनालिसिस ऑफ एनी गुड न्यूज़पेपर लाइक द हिंदू और इंडियन एक्सप्रेस. इन केस आपके पास कोई रिसोर्स है आप वहाँ से करो, नहीं करते हो तो यू कैन कमेंट, यू कैन लेट अस नो. हम विल ट्राई टू मेक श्योर दैट सम ऑफ आवर न्यूज़पेपर सेशंस आर ब्रॉट ऑन द यूट्यूब आल्सो. Thirdly, now how do you do it? See, first you make your notes, you learn them, ultimately you revise them, and once you have revised, start solving mocks. No better way of getting good marks in GK. Make your own notes, try to learn them, revise them multiple times, and then straight away go on to solving mocks. इस GK टुडे वगैरह भी कर सकते हो. पैसेज बेस्ड GK क्वेश्चंस नहीं आते, या हमारा YouTube पे वीकली सेशन होता है फॉर GK which is very comprehensive and accepted very well by the student community for CLAT, both in offline and online arenas. Can avail those courses, very courses, very to the point courses too. इसके बाद these people although haven't mentioned legal aptitude, they haven't mentioned legal aptitude explicitly, but questions पूछते हैं, और ये लीगल एप्टीट्यूड के क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं लॉजिकल रीजनिंग वाले पार्ट में. लॉजिकल रीजनिंग वाले पार्ट में व्हाट यू विल फाइंड इज the number of questions that are coming are 70 questions, right? So we have to solve those 70 questions. So to be on the safer side, I would recommend कि आप लीगल में एक तो लीगल मैक्सिम्स पढ़ लो, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स पढ़ लो, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ लो. ऑल्दो क्वेश्चंस बहुत नहीं आते कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में. यू कैन अवेल माय कोर्स आल्सो व्हिच इज अ वेरी गोना हेल्प यू लीप्स एंड बाउंड्स. इसके बाद व्हाट यू कैन डू इज डू क्वेश्चंस आल्सो इन केस दे आर आस्किंग एनी ऑफ दोस. बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस इस पे नहीं करना है. नाउ कमिंग ऑन टू which is logic and critical reasoning. Logical and critical reasoning. देखो हाई प्रायोरिटी एरियाज और लो प्रायोरिटीज एरिया में बांट के देखते हैं, और क्योंकि 70 मार्क्स की होती है, क्योंकि ये 70 मार्क्स की आ रही होती है, so this is a make or break for AILET. You have to be exceptionally good into it. I'll try to categorize the topics into high priorities areas and low priority areas. Although the amount of time that is left for this examination, we have to focus on each and everything right now. But फिर भी, so that it helps you, so that you start focusing, we'll try to segregate those. So high priorities areas में questions from argument and assumptions. High priority areas, questions from arguments, questions from assumption. Then you can expect questions from inference. You can expect questions from statement and conclusion. We have made this strategy very categorically and keeping in mind reviews from a lot of good people and toppers who have cracked this examination. तो आप इसको कर सकते हो. लास्ट ईयर पेपर्स के साथ में ये स्ट्रैटेजी बनाई गई है. देखो मैंने क्या, हाई प्रायोरिटीज एरिया, we have questions coming from arguments, we have questions from assumptions, we have questions from inference, we have questions from statement and conclusion. Then we can expect questions from syllogism. Syllogism के लिए also if you want a PDF, you can contact on the number given in the description. We'll try to provide you a PDF which is very comprehensive when it's solving questions from syllogism. Now areas which are not, although not high priority areas, but quite important for this examination. So let us write down cause and effect. कॉज एंड इफेक्ट पे सवाल आता है, हर साल नहीं आता, कभी कभी आता है. असर्शन एंड रीजन, यू गेट क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम असर्शन एंड रीजन आल्सो. देन यू गेट क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन, यू गेट क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम ब्लड रिलेशंस, कोडिंग डिकोडिंग, डायरेक्शन टेस्ट, एंड देन पजल टेस्ट. ये तुम्हारा अरिथमेटिक रीजनिंग का पोर्शन हो गया. ये तुम्हारा अरिथमेटिक रीजनिंग का पोर्शन हो गया. मैं क्या बोला, 70 नंबर का लॉजिकल एंड क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग आता है. हाई प्रायोरिटीज एरियाज में आर्गुमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस, अजम्पशन, इन्फरेंस, स्टेटमेंट, कंक्लूजन, सिलोजिज्म. प्लीज इसी तरीके से तैयारी करने की कोशिश करें. ट्राई टू मेक योर प्रिपरेशन इजी. तो बहुत टफ मत बनाए. ट्राई टू मेक योर प्रिपरेशन मैथमेटिकल एंड क्वांटिफाइबल व्हिच कैन बी मेजर्ड. And then there are areas on high priority areas, but although important for the examination because you get to get questions every second year from cause and effect, assertion and reason, course of action, and then certain portions of arithmetic reasoning which are blood relations, coding decoding, direction sense test, and your direction sense test and your puzzle test, right? Puzzle test. So all this is the strategy which we have to implement for the AILET examination, which if you are preparing for AILET 2026 or 2027, बहुत सिंपल स्ट्रैटेजी है. इसी पे फोकस करो. एक बारी जल्दी से जल्दी कोर्स करने का तैयारी करो. लाइक लेट्स से रैप अप योर सिलेबस एंड जंप ऑन टू मॉक्स. स्टार्ट सॉल्विंग मोर एंड मोर मॉक्स. बहुत ज़्यादा सिलेबस नहीं है. अंग्रेजी का मैंने सिलेबस बताया. इंग्लिश कैन बी क्वांटिफाइड, लॉजिकल एंड क्रिटिकल कैन बी क्वांटिफाइड, एंड thirdly GK is something which is gonna be देयर विद यू फॉर द नेक्स्ट 4-5-6 मंथ्स। तो आप जीके पे एकदम से सारा फोकस नहीं डालेंगे, वीकली बेसिस पे करते चलेंगे। इन केस यू आर लुकिंग फॉर अ कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कोर्स एंड यू वांट मॉड्यूल्स आल्सो, you can give us a call on the number given in the description. We'll try to help you and we'll try to have your classes also. And first of all, like I will also try to tell you, हमारा जो पढ़ाने का मेथड है उसमें since I am from National University जोधपुर myself and I have cracked this examination in 2016, तो पहले तो मैं आपका बेस बनाऊंगा। बाय फर्स्ट सेकंड वीक ऑफ अगस्त विल बी डन विद द बेसिक थिंग्स, और वो बेस बहुत ही फाउंडेशनल फंडामेंटल होता है, थ्रू विच यू कैन सॉल्व 70 to 80% ऑफ योर क्वेश्चंस इन कमिंग इन द एग्जामिनेशन। इसके बाद वील गो ऑन टू लेवल 2 वेयर एंड वी ट्राई टू सॉल्व मोर एंड मोर क्वेश्चंस बिकॉज द कंसेप्ट्स आर नाउ रेडी। So in case you are willing and looking for a comprehensive course to prepare for AILET or let's say CLAT 2016, you can give us a call on the number given in the description and can go install our app so that you can find the course for it. The course is kept very affordable, available and accessible for you guys. In case you are facing any issues regarding the same, you can give us a call on the number given in the description. Thank you. Thank you.